Should I read next? Sure you can, Ariel. You can go ahead. Thank you. No problem. Okay, my turn to read. Reading was just plain torture. When Sue Ellen read her page or Tommy Bob read his page, they read so easily that Trisha would watch the top of their heads to see if something was happening to their heads that wasn't happening to hers. And numbers were the hardest thing of all to read. She never added anything right. Line the numbers up before you add them, the teacher would say. But when Trisha tried, the numbers looked like a stack of blocks, wobbly and ready to fall. She just knew she was dumb. Then one day, her mother announced that she'd gotten a teaching job in California, a long way from the family farm. What is the teacher's name? Merida? I think the teacher's name is Miss Plessy. Miss Plessy? Yeah, because she is a reading teacher. So when Trisha was stacking for the blocks wobbly and ready to fall, why she was dumb? Because she is not feeling good because she was dumb, right? Right, Ariel. Because when her mother announced that she got a teaching job in California, why is it a long way from the family farm in Michigan? I don't know. But I might have to find out. Well, okay. Well, if you turn a page, someone needs to read next. Okay, so let me just turn a page and someone needs to read next. Can I read next? Sure you can, Wipe the Dog. Go ahead. Thank you, Merida. You are the best. You're welcome. Okay, so he's the dog because he's going to read next, okay? Alrighty. Okay, so my turn to read next. Okay. Even though her grandma and grandpa were gone, the little girl didn't want to move. Maybe, though, the teachers and her kids in her new school wouldn't know how dumb she was. She and her mother and brother moved across the country in a two-tone 1945 Plymouth. It took 5 days. So, White, why did it took 5 days when Trisha and her mother and brother moved across the country in a two-tone 1949 Plymouth? So, what do you think? What do you think it's going to do 5 days? Good question, Rojo. Maybe it says she and her mother and brother moved across the country in a two-tone 1949 Plymouth, but not 1945 Plymouth. It just took 5 days, right, Rojo? That's right. White. Yeah, Rojo's right. So her mother and brother and Trisha moved across the country in two-tone 1949 Plymouth, but not 45 Plymouth. It just took 5 whole days. 5 whole days? Yeah, that's right, White. So you might have to turn a page and see what's next. Okay. Okay, so who would like to read next? I can. Okay, Miss America. So can you read this whole thing for me? Sure. Thank you. No problem. Okay, my turn to read next. But at the new school, it was the same. When she tried to read, she stumbled over words. The cat ran. She was reading like a baby in the 3rd grade. But when her teacher read along with them and called on Trisha for an answer, she gave the wrong answer every time. Hey, dummy, a boy called out to her on the playground. How come you're so dumb? Other kids stood near him as they laughed. Trisha could feel the tears burning in her eyes. How she longed to go back to her grandparents' farm in Michigan. Whoa, that's not nice. You see, Miss America? You see? He just called her a dummy. How come you're so dumb? Ooh, that's not nice. So that's why when she gave the wrong answer every time. And so why is he calling her dummy and says, how come you're so dumb? Because the other kids trying to make fun of her. Wow, that's not very nice. But look, poor Trina. You see? Trisha could feel the tears burning in her eyes because she has a stomach ache while she's not going back to school. Right, Miss America? Right. And she would long to go back to her grandparents' farm in Michigan, right? Right. Okay, so let me turn a page to see what's next. America, I might have to tell you something for he's calling her a dummy and how could she was so dumb. Oh, okay. So why is Trina could feel the tears burning in her eyes and long to go back to her grandparents' farm in Michigan? Because she has a stomach ache. A stomach ache? Yes. So it's your turn to read next. So can you read this whole thing for me, please? Yes. Okay, so I might have to read next. Now, Trisha wanted to go to school less and less. I have a sore throat, she said to her mother. Or I have a stomach ache. She dreamed more and more and drew more and more. And she hated school. Then when Trisha started 5th grade, The school was all abuzz. There was a new teacher. He was tall and elegant. Everybody loved his striped coat and slick gray pants. He wore any of his clothes. All the usual teachers' pets gathered around him. Stevie and Joe and Alice Marie, Davy and Michael Lee. But right from the start, it didn't seem to matter to Mr. Falker which kids were the cutest or the smartest or the best at anything. Okay, so do you know what it says? Let me see what it says. It says, "Hi, I'm Mr. Falker. I would love to do math and teach someone." Isn't that right? Yeah, that's right, Toffee. So the correct answer is, it says, "Hi, I'm Mr. Falker. I would love to do math and teach someone," right? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so maybe Mei could go next. So Mei, can you go next? Yes. Thank you, Mei. Alrighty, so Mei wants to go next. Okay, Mei, it's your turn. So he just already made for our Charlotte's Web for our house picture. So can you read this whole thing for me, please? Sure, Merida. Thank you, Melanie. You're welcome. Okay, now it's my turn. Okay. Mr. Falker would stand behind Tricia whenever she was drawing and whisper, "This is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Do you know how talented you are?" When he said this, even the kids who teased her would turn around their seats to look at her drawings, but they still laughed whenever she gave a wrong answer. Then one day, she said to stand up and read, which she hated. She was stumbling through the page in Charlotte's Web, and the page was going all fuzzy when the kids began to laugh out loud. Mr. Falker, in his plaid jacket and butterfly tie, said, "Stop! Are all of you so perfect that you can look at another person and find fault with her?" What? Who's the bully is this? I don't know, Mei. Maybe he draws some other things, but I think Mirabelle can. Oh, can Mirabelle go next? Sure. Okay, so let me go get Mirabelle if she can read next. Did someone say my name? Yes, Mirabelle. So it's your turn to read, so can you read this whole thing for me, please? Sure. Okay, go ahead. Alrighty, now it's my turn. That was the last day anybody laughed out loud or make fun of her, all except Eric. He had sat behind Tricia for 2 whole years, but he seemed almost to hate her. Tricia didn't know why. He waited by the door of the classroom for her and pulled her hair. He waited for her on the playground, leaned to her face, and called her Toad. Tricia was afraid to turn any corner, for fear Eric would be there. She felt completely alone. The only time she was really happy was when she was around Mr. Falker. He let her erase the blackboards. Only the best students got to do that. He patted her on the back whenever she got something right, and he looked hard and mean at any kid who teased her. Oh, let me go back to the page, and let me tell her. Merida, how do you do that while he's doing that from the chalkboard? I don't know, Mirabelle. His name is Eric. He is a bully boy because he just draws some bad things. Bad things? Yeah. He's just doing bad things for Tricia. For Tricia? Yes. Okay, it says, "You can't count. You're ugly. Hey, dummy. Toad, stupid, and more?" The other one said, "Not one of us." What? Why is he saying bad things for Tricia? Because Bully Eric is trying to say bad things from people. So, isn't it nice to say bad things? No. No, because that is not very nice, right? Right. So everyone, the bully boy named Eric, and Eric was very mad at Tricia because he just hated her. So he just waited by the door of the classroom and pulled her hair, and he waited at the recess and called her a toad. So is that okay?
No.
No, that's not nice to say bad things, because you might get in very trouble now, right? Right. Okay, so another Mirabelle wants to read next. So can you read next, another Mirabelle? Yes. Okay, so let me turn a page and you can read next. Okay? Alrighty. Alrighty, my turn to pick next. Okay, Mirabelle, go ahead. Okay. Alrighty, my turn. But the nicer Mr. Falker was to Tricia, the worse Eric treated her. He got all the other kids to wait for her on the playground, or in a cafeteria, or even a bathroom, and to jump out and call her stupid or ugly. And Tricia began to believe them. She discovered that if she asked to go into the bathroom just before recess, she could hide under the inside stairwell during the free time, and not have to go outside at all. In that dark place, she felt safe. So, another Mirabelle, I want you to think for a second here, because it says, in that dark place, she felt completely safe. do you think this is the only under the stairwell where she is in dark place? I don't know. Or maybe the people were starting bullying her because Eric is trying to bully her. Well, Merida, I think it might be both. Both? Yes. Well, they're doing at a playground recess because they're doing jump rope, playing a basketball, and it has lots of playing together. Right? Right. Because why is Trisha is not going outside at all? Because she is very sad. When she was in a dark place, she felt completely safe. Yes. And so, who's someone who didn't read yet? Elsa, can you read next? Sure, Mirabelle. Thanks. No problem. So, Merida, I'm going to read next because I am a wonderful snow queen. Okay, go ahead. Okay. But one day at recess, Eric followed her to her secret hiding place. Have you become a mole, he asked, and he pulled her out into the hall and danced around her. Dumbbell, dumbbell, old dumbbell. Trisha buried her face in her arms and curled up in a ball. Suddenly she heard footsteps. It was Mr. Falker. He marched Eric down to the office. When he came back, he found Trisha. I don't think you have to worry about that boy again, he said softly. What was he teasing you about, little one? I don't know, Trisha asked. So, Elsa, why do you think Trisha kind of lied to Mr. Falker while Eric is gone at the office? I don't know. But he's teasing him about from the little one from Trisha because she was under the dark place from the stairwell during the free time, and then she has a stomachache again because Trisha was burning in her eyes again, and she has a headache. Well, Eric is very mad at Trisha because she just danced and he just danced around her, and he's calling her dumbbell, dumbbell, maggoty old dumbbell. So is that okay? I don't think so. It's not okay to say bad things. No, it is not okay to say bad things. But look who's here. Then who is it? You might have to find out. Uh-oh, it might be a Mr. Falker. I think he might get Eric to the office right now because he got a lot of trouble right now. He got a lot of trouble? Yes. So that's why when Mr. Falker sent Eric to the office, because he is a very troublemaker right now. Yes. So when he came back, he found Trisha. And he says, I don't think you have to worry about that boy again. And then he asks, what was he teasing you about, little one? And it says, I don't know, Trisha shrugged, right? Right. But why did she kind of lie to Mr. Falker? Well, I don't know. But Trisha said Mr. Falker because Eric was saying to do bad things. But let's see if Mr. Falker can do to help, okay? Well, okay. Well, let me turn a page and see. Let's see Mr. Falker to do to help. Should I read next? Sure you can, Allie. You can. Thank you. You're welcome. So, can you read this whole thing for me, please? Yes. Alrighty, my turn to read next. Trisha was sure Mr. Falker believed that she could read. She had learned to memorize when the kid next to her was reading. Or she would wait for Mr. Falker to help her with a sentence, then she'd say the same thing that he did. Good, he would say. Then one day, Mr. Falker asked her to stay after school and help wash the blackboards. He put on music and brought out little sandwiches as they worked and talked. All at once, he said, let's play a game. I'll shout out letters. You write them on the board with a wet sponge as quickly as you can. A, he shouted. She wiped a watery A. 8, he shouted. She made a watery 8. 14, 3, D, M, Q, he shouted out. He shouted out many, many letters and numbers. Then he walked up behind her and together they looked at the board. It was a watery mess. Trisha knew that none of letters and numbers looked like they should. She threw the sponge down and tried to run. So, Allie, why did she try to run? Because she has nothing to do. None of the letters or numbers look like she should. She doesn't want to do none of the letters or numbers? Yes, because she threw the sponge down and tried to run as fast as she can. Well, okay. Well, it might happen. And so, someone needs to read next, and you can turn a page if you want to. Okay.